JP Moss here. This is part 2 to Beniico, the extraterrestrial human being that cut off, and hopefully it won't run to 49 minutes. So as I ended with, I was talking about how she was telling me that they have a different sleep needs and requirements than what we have. So she sleeps longer, and that would be consistent with beings with larger brains would require more sleep than you or I would require. 8 hours, 6 hours. Some people can live on less. And so the idea, I think I left on the point of the idea of having her with me. Well, the thing is, yes, I could, until the British intelligence caught on or somebody found out. And the government, the intelligence community in America, all over the world, running around frantically trying to cover this up. And people say, well, what would happen, if you had her with you? Well, they'd probably catch up with her. I'm moving out of this house soon. This is my workshop I built completely out of pallets. It's my very special workshop. I'm going to be losing this workshop, so it's going to be going to lose it, but it's all here. It was built from scratch, and what I know, and very well done. It served its purpose. There'll be other gardens and other workshops. Moving on. But the point I was making, I think overall I left off with, was I find it really unusual that there are people that tout that I'm married to Beniico, or I'm gonna be with her, or there's this I've had girlfriends in the past who are experiencers who get very annoyed of this connection with her, and yet it's a very much it's an unfair kind of scenario, because that while they can get at me and say that, I don't ever go back at them and say, wait a minute, you claim to have a reptilian lover that comes to you at night, or zetas, or other human hybrids that arrive to you that you know and make love to you. I know, and I don't have an issue with that. Do we choose the experience that we're having? Yeah, and why not? I mean, I love Beniico, and I certainly welcome any encounter with her as she visits me, and I certainly, we do have a control over what happens. We do have control. There are many experiencers of alien abduction phenomena who will say, I want it to stop, and then they notice that it stops, or the beings leave them alone, indicating, again, touting the evidence against Dr. Jacobs and others who say that this is a threat to mankind, when all it takes is a little woman in Topeka, Kansas to say, I want it to quit, and then they don't come back to her anymore, and if she ever wants the contact again, they show up again. So it throws down the need of a military intelligence involvement and any kind of a mass CIA or black helicopters or anything like that. It also throws down the theories that this is an existential threat to the human race. When one little woman standing there in her little bathrobe can wear her little sandals and ponytail and go, well, I've got 3 little kids to feed and I'm often here alone and I want it to stop, and it stops. Okay? So I don't know why they still assert this is the big threat. And I know they've come across cases of experiencers, such as women like that, who can just stop it when they want to stop it. And I find it really unusual when, past girlfriends or whatnot come to me and say, well, you're with Beniico, you know, you don't need me, you're with her. I find it's really unusual. I find it really unusual that they say things like that. They know their own experiences with these interdimensional entities that come to them, these reptilians or whatever they experience visiting them at night or whatnot, or they have any relationship with. They don't live with them in the same house. They don't, you know, sit down to dinner and they're sitting across the table, a reptilian being that so many alien abduction experiencers claim to have had contact with, or a gray zeta, or an extraterrestrial human hybrid, or other various species of beings or whatnot they feel they're in relationships with, visiting them. They don't have them sitting in their homes. Now, I could be wrong. There could be people, maybe some of you watching this video, who've got ET beings living in your home right this minute. You know, like the movie Paul, sitting right there. And, you know, and they're laughing at this video. Really? Really? Well, you don't have our experience, because they're right here next, here they are right next to me. But you probably never make a video showing that off. And for your interest, that would be a good idea not to. It would be a very bad idea. I do find that unusual that I've had girls, not many, I don't have a lot of girlfriends. These relationships have, in recent times, since remembering Beniico and my experience and connection with her, just because I was given amnesia not to remember her doesn't mean the connection stopped. Memory and energetic connection are interconnected, but they're not dictating one over the other. If you don't remember, doesn't mean that energy soul is not connected. So it's like your computer plugs into a wall and draws a voltage from the wall, and even if your hard drive is wiped and there's nothing on the hard drive, for example, like a hard drive for your computer stores all your operating system and your programs. This is a nice big, what is this one here? 160 gigabyte hard drive. It's an older one. It's 160 gigabyte, the new SATA cable connection. If this gets wiped, I've still got my computer plugged in the wall. The computer is still connected energetically to the power source of the house. So you reload this, and it gets its mind back. It is still, oh, I've been connected to you the whole time. That's the example of Beniico and me. The energetic connection of our soul is one. We are one soul. Is not divided or broken just because there's a memory loss. Because memory, while memory forms part of the connection process, yes it does. It's not the overall. The soul connection is not determinate to the memory like that. So I mean, I don't have her living with me. You know, she's not sitting. Holly, sweetheart, here she is. There's Beniico. I don't know if you follow Dr. Jonathan Reed or not. I went to his conference a few years ago through Derek Savory. I sat in his conference with my son, Hobie. And there are those who say that's not his real name, that he's an actor. But he showed many, I'm not trying to promote the man here, but he showed many things in his conference, and I met him face to face and shook his hand. And you can see the scars on the man's head, where someone threw bricks or something at his skull and caused him severe cerebral, he had head injuries, pretty serious cranial injuries. And you could see the way he was talking and acting, he had these head injuries. This is after his incident with his reptilian being that he filmed. And yet people still say he's not real. I find that rather unusual. His injuries are quite real. The man's pain was very visible and very real. The evidence he presented was compelling, but if you just sit on the fence with this and don't commit either way, you got to still step back and say, then why is this man suffering so much? He's got a lot of injuries. Someone has been trying to hurt him. And you know, whether or not you follow the Reed story or not, the fact is he went out. If I take it as a genuine fact, and I'm not saying yes or no here, because I want to be fair here with everybody. I personally see the feelings in the man. The injuries look pretty severe on him. Someone did try to hurt this man. And when you go out in the parking lot after the conference, his vehicle he drove around in, he was being driven around. His personal vehicle he had brought to Europe, because he has a lot of money, was a Humvee, an army vehicle. It was black and it was armored with bulletproof glass. Now, these things, if you don't know, can cost up to $100,000, and you can get them at a discount at $60,000 maybe. And I mean, it was his vehicle. You saw him get in it. It was his vehicle. He didn't get into just a little rented car. So if this wasn't a real case, wow, he's taken a lot of effort to make himself safe, for his safety. And in the conference, he goes on and on about all the many people in his life around him that have ever supported him have been killed and beat up. I think he mentioned at least 12 people that have been killed around him and beat half to death by unknowns. Why? Well, if you take his case as genuine, then you look at his evidence of a reptilian being that came out to his backyard in a ship. And this is a case where he got pretty hard evidence. He took one of the survivors into his home, apparently, into a garage, and named him Freddie, I think. And, you know, that he contacted MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, and he said his life went downhill ever since. MUFON is supposed to have had a lot of connection to intelligence, and they cooperate with them without anybody really knowing that. I don't know that. I'm not running them down, but this is what more evidence, if that maybe supports the theory, because then his life goes hell, to absolute hell. And in the conference, he goes on about that, and in detail. Then he goes down that hill about that point. It really got really, really bad. Is it because Dr. Reed shared hard evidence to the world? Yes, absolutely. You know, and I'm walking a fine line with these ET pictures in the forest, which I've got a lot of these people that hop around me on Facebook and these social sites, and that's just leaves and trees, or you're hoaxing that. I don't want to fight with them, because if they're CIA, after what I saw what they did to my mother, Annette Funicello, and the rape videos, and they put her in black market porn, and they brutalized the absolute god hell out of her. That little woman's 5'2" body. I was made to watch videos when I was a young man. I'm her lost kid. I'm an orphan, ripped away from her by the absolute brutal, vicious, and absolute crazy evil corruption within the American government. And I mean the brutality in the American government, in the intelligence community, is savage. Pure savage. And I mean, it's a vicious animal. It's a hungry, vicious animal. It's a ravenous creature running around in the intelligence community. It craves flesh. It craves money, and it craves cocaine, and it craves cannabis. It craves heroin and control, and it gives no consideration to human rights. You are animals. You're just subjects. You're just things they can play with. They own you. She went to work for the CIA in the 70s. And they just look for people that are dangerous, as the FBI profiler Mark Safarik will point out. Dangerous, predatory people, especially those in power, they look for excuse to commit crime. They look for excuses to feed their habit. And so these vicious marauders look for an excuse to get my mother. And they said, well, you found a lost kid you weren't meant to find. He should have stayed lost. He was switched at birth because of others who committed crime. It's a big black mark on our agency. We don't want that out there. We don't want it out there. And they didn't get their $50 million for his return, and the mafia was involved. Well, you know what, Annette? Stay in Hollywood, be a film star, be a mouseketeer, go to Disneyland. You got your other kids, Gina, Jackie, and Jason. Shut up about this and look the other way. Well, she found me. She has no idea the kind of predatory beasts in the CIA and their hunger, their ravenous hunger to feed their habits of sex-starved, predatorial, sex-starved drug addicts that are, a lot of them are mafia. You know, I don't know if that's like that today, but back in the day, in the 1970s and 80s, these people were there. Now, I'm not saying that the CIA is evil. I'm saying there's corruption in a lot of places in life. And sadly, with an agency that has no oversight, no real internal policing mechanism of any kind, and there's no way for senators to know what's going on in that agency. Even the president isn't allowed to know what goes on in the CIA. You can look that up. It's hell's bells. Anything goes. All bets are off. You know, and they got a hold of that little woman, and I mean, they brutally, they brutalized this little woman. And I'm going to get off that now. I'm going to hop off that. But my God, if you have evidence of ETs, folks, and I'm walking down the street with Beniico, the extraterrestrial human hybrid, or she's right here, or in the next room, or in this house, am I really going to show you this? No. 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 And don't ask me. Don't ask me. Oh, I want to see evidence of this and that. You show me that there's a fine line with evidence given to the public, and the brutal, vicious mindset in the intelligence community in North America that will come after people to cover this up. It's anything goes. In other words, what they will do is, under the National Security Act, the executive order, which needs to be regulated. There needs to be some kind of regulation. If you get on the other end of their crossfires, and you happen to be the target, you're a target. That's it. Mother became a target. I'm a target. Dr. Reed, if you take his story as genuine, then he's a target. Then we're targets. And targets in any time of war. By the way, that's a secret war at this point. They're waging with Annette Funicello. It's a secret war with me. It's a secret war with that family. It's a secret, you know, my siblings, and it's a secret war with Dr. Reed. And once you get at the receiving end of their firepower, or whatever that is, whether it be 10-inch willies running after women and naked men, weightlifters that they often hire to do that to women, or if it's guys in black outfits that run around with machine guns or automatic weapons, whatever that may be, or mind control weapons, or whatever it is, it's a weapon. Okay, so sex was used as a weapon on her. It's a weapon. It's a weapon of war. It became a weapon of war. Is what it was. You know, it doesn't matter how much they paid. Don't say to me, well, they must have paid these people a lot to do that. No, that says terrible things to me. That says you believe that this is okay, that this sort of activity is fine, and that you believe that she deserved what she got, and you believe I deserve what I get, and you think this is all okay. All she was trying to do was take a kid home to California. What the CIA should have done was stepped in and said, here's what we're going to do. Sign these agreements and that. You get him back, but we had nothing to do with this. If you violate the agreement, we'll put you in jail for 5 years. Oh, okay, all right, where do I sign? Never mind, I got my kid back. Now, I grow up with these others. We go to Disneyland together. No more is said. And that would have taken a fraction of the manpower and money to do something like this. So you step back and say, then why did they waste so much money to keep the secret? Why is so much manpower? Why is so much more money? Why is so much of this goes on? Because she was pretty to them. This is their justification, not mine. They say because she was pretty, she was a film star, and there was some money to be made off of that face. In the black market world of porn videos, there's some money to be made. So they sat down and they said, here's how we do it. We shoot her up with some drugs, because they'd hit her with needle drugs before she didn't, forced her in and put the needle drugs in. She got aroused, don't know what's going on, so she doesn't behave like a normal person in these videos. And so then they rape her, they videotape this, they make it look like this is all very much a porn video. They don't put her name in it. They don't put Annette Funicello in the video. They have a guy, as I understand this, who sits back and has control of this material. And he's like a guarantor. And what he does is, and by the way, the Mexican mafia in California heavily works with this agency in sex trafficking. The Mexican mafia is a major power in California. Very powerful bunch of people who work with the intelligence community. Very heavily sex trafficking women. And they make these videos, and then they go to these buyers. It's like eBay, and these people bid out. They're Chinese buyers. These are millionaires with a lot of money. And they'll say, how much per copy? What's the value of these movies? Well, it's up to $5,000–$6,000. One VHS tape shot in 1982 of her having sex could have been worth $6,000. Okay, I'm just giving a rough, I don't know what it would have been cost, I don't know. But according to my research and my investigation, why is it worth so much without her name on it anywhere, in the movie and not on it anywhere? Well, the guarantor, he gives you a red label. We'll say it's a red label, and he says, I guarantee that is this actress in the film. Now you do the math. We'll round it to 10,000, because somewhere I've heard estimates of $10,000 for one VHS tape. Do the math. What's the CIA making? They like to make money off cocaine in South America. They got their hands in all kinds of nasty stuff on money making, and black market porn of a celebrity makes millions. How does it happen? Very easy. You get her into these honey traps, as I just described. You get a lost kid out, it's a honey trap, boom. And the next thing you know, 10,000 times 100 copies. 100 VHS tapes. It's like printing your own money for these people. They just sit in a little warehouse and they make 100 copies. That's it. 100 VHS tapes will barely fill this room, just about that high. That's it. Well, 100. One little red label the guy's going to pay out. He's going to put on them. Goes to the buyers. 100 times 10,000. You figured it out. You got $250,000 now. You think they stop with 100 tapes? No, sir. 100? No. I don't know these. I don't know for a fact. I've got rough estimates from my investigation, and I have found it's very possible these the numbers of tapes that were made could have been 2,000, 5,000. What would 5,000 VHS tapes bring in if they're all going for about 10,000 each? What would that have been? It's awful, it's nasty, it's ugly, it's disgusting, it's vile, and I've got off subject, sorry. But again, I needed to do that 15 minutes, 20 minutes to give you, again, a background of why we experiencers who collect evidence will give you what we can, and you really need to listen to me. You've got to be very, very careful of what you share to the public. Okay? Be very careful. Take very strong caution at this point. The political changes in North America have really woke a lot of us up. That there's a very dangerous thing about how hate feeds. It grows. As I said in my last video, you can't destroy energy, create or destroy energy. You can create, you can be love, or you can be hate. You can be good, love, or hate and evil. But the sad thing is, neither can be destroyed. You can never really destroy evil. So you've got to be more of an activist. You've got to be more of a force. You've got to get out there. You've got to become somebody that goes out and makes videos like this. You've got to be that person. You don't just go to Sunday school, church, and pray and go home and take care of your soul's needs when you die and do a little work in the community and for your church. You need to get out there and be a force. I don't mean vote for Democrats or vote for liberals. Forget the word liberal. Forget the word conservative. Forget all that. Be love. Be love. Be compassion. Be compassion. Compassion. Okay? But also have a voice. Don't be a big wet tissue paper that does nothing. Compassion and love never asks you to sit back and quietly go to the corner and do nothing. I don't know where people get that idea from. Where do you get that idea from? What do you call the man who washed up on an empty beach, who was out there trying to save whales and had a spear run through him, and he was killed trying to save these animals, and his body washes up on an empty, deserted beach? He came in the name of love. He died for love. Love put him on that boat to save those whales. Okay? Love. What is activism? Activism is a byproduct of love. Activism is not the main thing. Be an activist. Well, you don't even know what that is unless you know what drives you to be an activist. You've got to be intelligent. You've got to have smarts. You've got to educate yourself to what's going on. What's a conspiracy theorist? Well, someone that sits around and comes up with theories without basing it on any fact. I go out and base what I'm telling you on fact. My experience and my research I bring to you. I follow the same methodology the FBI uses and police detectives use in North America. And I strongly admire the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I admire police detectives and what they do. But I don't like the fact that the FBI routinely and blatantly runs and hides from the corruption in the federal government. We got families to think about. Well, then divorce the family. Get into your uniform, officers. Get into your badge. Get behind your oath, and do something. But you're doing it out of love. You're doing it because you sincerely want to make a difference. You've got to get out there and make a difference. And the thing about Beniico, I love her very dearly. I love her very, very much. She's very real. And last night I was thinking and I was feeling her, and I was talking out loud to her. I was just talking out loud, quietly in a little space, just kind of talking out loud. And I feel like a thought projection in my head. And, even I have to be skeptical. Is it just my imagination? And I get something like, we hear you. We're near you. We're here. And look out the window and have a look. Look out the window and have a look. We hear you. We're here. And you may come with us one day. You may come away with us and be with her one day. And the evidence of that is going to be what we're about to show you. I look out the window and I see in a clear night sky at about 8:30 a white object fly straight off in the distance, right in front of me, out there in the sky, and it stops. It gets bright, illuminates a little bit of blue. It's white and blue, and then it goes back again, almost like there's a train track in the sky, and it goes straight back at high speed, straight back. I took a few photos. I have the photos. I'll upload to Facebook. If you're on my page on Facebook, I'll do another video of my recent evidence and bring that to my YouTube subscribers. But again, It is very difficult to tell what that object is. I blew it up really big with my software, had a look, and it just looks like a blob of white, which could be anything. And the actual photo, I put the blow up picture in the actual photo, and you just got these, looks like a blurry image of some windows, black, and you've got this little white dot sitting against this black, and you've got this blow up of something that looks like a couple of bloppy whites. Not good evidence. So what? Good. It's bad evidence. Good. Good. I will bring you the best that I can, and if I get the absolute smoking gun evidence, like some people have done, I think wisdom, let's learn from their experiences. No, you're not going to get that from me. I can't give you that. I'm going to ask you, you watch these videos because, you know, we're experiencers, or your lost family or somebody. But what we're going to do is we're going to share. I'm going to be a company to you, a companion. It's like someone sitting here in the room with you, having tea with you, talking, and you're having this chat with me. You see, I'm a very approachable person. I'm not condescending. I'm not putting you down for your political belief or ideas or religious. I'm not doing that. You know, I am telling you of the ugly side of the darker, secret world out there in American government, which one day, as I've been told from sources, will be dealt with. It will be dealt with. It will be no more. It'll be where the good people will run that country the way it should be run, and you think, well, that can't happen. You know, well, it will happen. You'll be surprised. Mountains do move, oceans do part. Miracles and things, and the most amazing things you can never imagine do happen. And that is coming very soon, by the way. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up, which are going to offset the balance of power for a lot of those over there. And you think, well, that's not likely, because who's just gone? You know, we've got a lot of conservatives running into the White House who look at what you're talking about as crazy. They don't ever want to let go of power. They will never reveal state secrets where there was corruption and problems. They find that to be a weakening of the American system and the government, so they don't want to ever reveal anything. Where liberals, you'll say, will go out and try to get it all out there. But there are other forces at work in the world that are not from around here, that can and will help the good people, you know, even in the American government, the good people working in the American government, and the FBI in getting things turned around. You know, things like that do happen. And that's all I can give away about that. But I mean, you know, Beniico, you know, I love her very dearly. She's a singular soul divided into two bodies is what we are. And, you know, I go through troubled times like anybody. You know, my life isn't the most perfect. It's not, we all have a great life. Everybody's got troubles. She's with me. Not just with me, but in me. You know, so what I see and hear, she's experiencing. Now, I wish I could say that were vice versa. Now, sometimes I get nippets, dreams, or whatnot, where I'm in another place that is totally removed from this reality. And I think a lot of that is that I'm not going to be seeing what she sees and hears all the time, because it's going to be like exposing someone from 1910 to 2016 technology. Imagine you pick someone up from 1910 and put them in 2016 and let them walk through Walmart. Just take a browse through Walmart. Wow. What is all this stuff? What the hell is going on? What does this mean? It'd be quite overwhelming. You know, and then on the newspaper it says there was a President Obama. Wait a minute. In 1910 we did the idea of ethnic president? What? You know, There would be so many thousands of things that would overwhelm our visitor from 1910. He would be utterly shocked. He wouldn't know what to make of that. It would be quite removed from his experience. Not saying he's racist, but it would be very deeply unnerving, quite unmoving. So that there's quite a bit of this other reality that Beniico inhabits, that the extraterrestrial hybrid human beings inhabit, which is quite removed even, for someone like me who's a seasoned veteran, goes out in the field, gets experiences, and has had experiences in my past, that I'm not going to be privy to, I'm not going to be allowed to look at. And I think that's a good thing. Now, I've also noticed I get snubbed a lot. Oh man, on Facebook, there's a lot of these well-known radio hosts in the ufology world who are constantly drawing in. I get invitations from a lady, Ms. Johnston. We'll say her last name, Ms. Johnston, of being respectful. She's in Las Vegas, and she is always interviewing, spotlighting people and interviewing them. Everybody around J.P. Moss, and I have brought out some good pictures. I've brought some good stuff out to say, look, here's my contribution. And I think I'm one of those people that after I'm dead and gone, credit will be given where credit's due. It'll be after I'm gone. I'm one of those kind of people. You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who you're talking to. And you don't know who's in front of you is what's going on. You don't know who you subscribe to. You don't know who I am. And it will be, sometimes in your own lifetime, you can get that recognition of your work you've done and what you're bringing to the public and what you're trying to help with. And is it important? No, it's not important. But like anybody, we all like to be appreciated. We all like to have some likes, thumbs up. We all like to be a little recognized for the hard work, and I have put a lot of hard work in what I'm doing and making these videos, and I am going through troubled times in my life, and I'm not very comfortable with circumstances surrounding my life, but I'm doing this because I love all of you. I'm helping you, and I don't think I'm looking for fame or fortune or money. It's nothing like that. I think if you find that you're getting snubbed a lot. You're getting snubbed and run down a lot. And I did some investigation as to why. And I found, I hate to say it, and I don't like to say this word, but it does exist in our world. It's the same thing as racism. It's feminism. Okay, it's a very serious issue, feminism. It's as bad as a male chauvinist. It's a man hater. He thinks women are just sex objects, and then you get these women who think men are all evil. And I find I've been a target of a lot of feminism. And I've been called a game player online, that I chase women online, that I just sit around all day on the internet. I think that feminists are involved in every aspect of culture today. It's a direct result of porn on the internet that's been there for 20 years. Yeah, this was predictable. Of course it's predictable. Well, of course there was going to be angry women, but they need to band with the men also and become an equal force of men and women. Not a lopsided movement going after just men in general. You need to be something more uniformed and go after and target the California porn industries and things like that, and get rid of sex. It's called sex trafficking, okay? You need to be fighting sex traffickers, not ufologist experiencers. I think the feminist movement today is targeting anybody. It's just kind of carte blanche anybody. It's like conspiracy theorists. They don't have any evidence of that. They cook it up on their own, throw it on that guy, and shoot him as hard as you can. Yes, I have had online interests in ladies that have come to me. There have been a few, yes, but they had the interest in me too. But aside from that, since the end of my marriage, this is very private stuff here, and I'm putting on YouTube. I shouldn't be. This is private. I shouldn't be. Why am I telling you this? 8 years. 8 years. No human woman. And I won't go into any more details. 8 years. I should be a monk. I should join the Benedictine order, the Saint Benedictine, the monks down the street here in Ipswich in England. They've got this, there's monks right down the road from me. Not just nuns. Up the road here is Saint Benedictine nuns, but there's these monks who never talk. There's a 500-year-old abbey down the road, 500 years old, and there are monks that live in there with hoods. I should go join them, you know. But why am I not chasing and going? Well, you know, the thing is, you know, I have my work, I do what I do, and I have taken every relationship very seriously. And I believe firmly that I would say since the end of my marriage, every relationship I've ever had where I was meeting somebody that happened to be online, it wasn't that I was looking for a love online, but she showed an interest in me and I had a mutual interest in her, and if it ever came to an end, there was a force involved. Now I don't. Now that's a conspiracy theory there. If I say that to you, it's the CIA. Well, probably. I mean, what would that be to me if I had a partner in my life? What would that be? A support, an ally, an equal. I'm not trying to be a dating agency here, but I mean, to me, a girlfriend who would be looking to become a wife would be my equal, would be equal to me. Okay, she would have to wear the camo cap like I'm wearing and get in the trench with me. We're fighting the bad guys together equally. You know, I would never look at that lady and say, I'm better than you. Sit on the corner. Well, no. You end up with J.P. Moss. You better put on your helmet and go to work, because put on your gloves and roll your sleeves up, because you're going to be out in the field with me taking these pictures, and you're running around with me. Okay, equally. And well, I'll defend and fight for you. We're in this together. We're in the same boat together. We're rowing together. You know, it's not any kind of chauvinism or I'm better than the woman. But I think a lot of times they were ripped away. They were ripped away, either by feminists or whatnot. I don't know, but they were ripped away. And that's into that subject right there. I dedicate my life to what I do, you know, which these videos are a bit activism, and they're there to help and motivate people to do the right thing and get going. You don't have to be involved in the UFO subject to do this. You can take this side of the stuff I bring out there and use this to your advantage. And I don't believe that that it's a bad idea to bring evidence out. I just think that you have to be very careful. And now I've run 43 minutes. Well, the thing is, I'm going to cut this video. But, you know, Beniico, as it turns out, funny enough, and strangely enough, they were right. The people that kept running, shouting at me, like these girls or whatever in the past, you got her. You can't be with me, you got her. And I was like, well, yes, I love her. And yes, I welcome experiences with her. You know, but we're not as if she's going to walk down the aisle with me and we're here in public, walk down the aisle together, hand in hand. And do you, Beniico, take Jason? I do. Beniico, I do. I know, pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride. That sounds outlandish, but some people believe that will happen with their beings they're connected to. You talk to Dr. Jacobs, he'll say that's confabulation. He'll say, no, they're here to just get sperm and eggs out of you, and they're going to make you think there's love. And you're wasting your life away looking for... I mean, I know I'm in this relationship with her. I know that we're one soul. I know we love each other. And I guess if that was the case and the world was a different world, another reality, maybe an alternate reality where she could walk down the street with me, yeah, she would. And why not? Okay, she looks a little different from the rest of you, but that would be it. That's our business. Our life is our own. You know, I'm not going to make experiencer videos about last night Beniico and I made love. Oh. Dun, dun, dun. I took pictures for evidence. Here it is. Here it is. Ready? This is me. This is her. We're kissing in this picture. I think she'd kick my butt. Or she'd just... I don't know. You can't break a quantum energy connection, so I don't know what she'd do. She'd... well, take me off this planet, what would happen? Well, you're just going to leave this planet. You're coming with me. So you're not... It's not really a good idea to leave my Jason around these humans. It's really bad. Bad for his... It's bad for him. So I think that you know, this is a reality where you can't do that, and we've still got a lot of issues in this world to overcome. You know, and that involves race issues down here. My God, really? You want to walk down the street with an ET? Really? Y'all think I'm gonna? You really think I'm gonna end up walking down the road with her? Really? Wow, God, wow, God, wow, wow. Okay. You can't even overcome your issues about black and white, or Hispanic and Latino versus white. So you really think that, or religious issues, Muslim, Christian, ideologies are your issues, and you think you're gonna, or some people wear green and white, and well, the green people are, and the white people, you know, he wears those kind of clothes. You can't accept this. You're not ready for this. You're not ready for this. You know. I don't care. All right, snub me, whatever. Go do your thing. Go on to your little new age lives and believe in your fantasies that this is all they're gonna land in your backyard and hug you and run around like Close Encounters in every backyard and every house and everywhere in the world. You go on and do that. I feel sorry for you. You're living your own little world, and you're gonna put in your radio shows those people who go with that idea. You're gonna put those people in your little shows, because that sells, that gets an audience. I don't get an audience because I'm telling you like it is. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Of course I welcome the experiences with her. I love her. She loves me. I love her. I am in no way ashamed to say that. I love Beniico, this extraterrestrial human hybrid being. You don't have to believe she exists. You can say it's all nonsense. I don't care what you think. Whatever. You know, fine. Good. Cool. But that's not going to stop me from talking about it and sharing. You know, this is an experience that changed my life. This is a girl, this is a being, a person that changed my life, that turned my life 180 degrees all the way around, flipped upside down. Okay, I was, in my mind, a dead person before she came into my life. I was dead. It's not a religion. I've heard Christians say that about Jesus. I was dead before he showed up. Now my life is all... It's not a religion. Okay, it's not a religion. It's a real person. And no, sadly, I guess we can't walk down the street together hand in hand, go to the malls in Texas, walk down the street holding her little four-digit hand. She's got just the four. I've seen many paintings and pictures of five. There may be hybrids of 5 fingers, I don't know, but Beniico had 4. You know, holding hands, here we are.